I have no words for round 9 of Reykjavik Open. When I sat down by my table and shook hands with my opponent, I had no idea what was about to happen. I was playing against 21-year-old Yoon Shen-he, who was 1900 rated and from China, although he told me that he now lived in the US because he was studying there. So he had played a pretty good tournament. He had beaten a FIDE master, so he was definitely up on the rise, and well, I wasn't having such an amazing tournament so far. However, the crazy thing was that the first thing he does against me is that he plays the move 1a3. I was like, what? I really was not expecting him to play 1a3. And actually, when he played it, I started laughing because I couldn't hold myself. I thought it was so crazy that he was playing 1a3 that I started laughing. And it was kind of like a mix of laughing because of the situation, but it was also because my opponent, the first round, had played the cow opening against me. And so I was like, what is happening? Why is everybody playing troll openings against me? Why are people not playing normal chess openings? And it just made me realize how the fact that I was streaming the games and recording the games made a lot of people maybe play openings that they wouldn't play otherwise. And it just made me laugh. I couldn't stop myself from laughing, but I felt bad because it felt like I was laughing at my opponent. But I just couldn't hold myself from laughing, and I also couldn't leave the board at that point. So I was laughing.
And we can see a little bit smile on Anna's face. He played A3. This is just what he played. This was absolutely, I would say, a little bit of a crazy move. And we can see Anna, we see a smile on her face.
I decided to play d5. I've actually never really faced 1a3 in a classical game because it's such a bad opening. Like, this is not supposed, like, this is really like one of the worst ways you can start. I mean, it's so anti-chess in so many ways. You know, you're trying always to take the center, etc., etc. So this is called the Anderson opening. It's not the worst way to start a chess game. I think f3 or g4 are the two worst ways. But this is definitely up there because you're not gaining any center and you're not really doing anything with this move. So I just decided to take center pretty quickly, and already here black is slightly better. So I just simply developed, got my pieces out, bishop takes pawn, e3. I decided to play this line with b6 just because I wanted to play bishop b7, as I thought he was going to play d4, and I thought this would be very comfortable for me. So I went back. There's not really much to say over here. I was just developing my pieces, and there is no way that I am worse in this position. I mean, I'm just simply being able to get all of my pieces out right now. So he castled and I went knight d7, and I was playing this pretty quickly. I really wanted to show like everyone that I could obviously beat this opening, but I also think that kind of made me feel like I must win this game because of the fact that he had played this very terrible opening. I kind of had that in the back of my mind. I must win this game because he's trolling or he's just playing a joke opening, you know? So he played c4, threatening the center, and I went knight e4 to centralize my knight. Now here, maybe it would be better to take this pawn just to have my bishop become active, but I decided to place my knight in the center. He played knight e1, and I decided to go rook c8, threatening to take this knight and then take this pawn. If he plays something random now, I'm winning a pawn. So he played rook c1, defending, and now actually, yeah, I could have gone knight takes d2, knight takes, and then here actually I have this crazy move knight e5, which is really nice, where basically after he takes my knight, I can go d takes c4, and he cannot capture back because the queen is hanging. So this would have been a way for me to gain advantage pretty immediately, but I didn't do this. Instead, I went for this kind of weird move bishop d6, which I did because I knew that what he wanted to do was to go f3, and then I thought that I have knight takes d2, queen takes d2, and then here I wanted to go something like queen h4, or I wanted to go in this position immediately now queen h4, just to threaten on h2, because now if he takes, there's a checkmate, and he cannot go g3, as I will simply take the pawn. So I think bishop d6 was a mistake though. I think I should have gone for this line with knight e5, but I just simply didn't see it during the game. So bishop d6, he played f4. I had more time than him. So far, my time was really good, and I was really happy with how I'd played so far. Here I decided to play f5. There's nothing really wrong with this, but I constantly missed this idea of taking on d2 and then taking here. So I played f5 just to really hold on to this knight. And so far I was feeling very confident. Takes, bishop e2. He moved the bishop back. And then I went for this move g5. Now I spent a lot of time here because I was calculating all kinds of things. I was calculating what happens if pawn takes c4. I thought bishop takes c4, and then I thought, okay, here maybe I can go rook takes c4, rook takes, and bishop a6. I was calculating all of these kind of things, but this I felt like gave me no advantage. I wanted to keep my light squared bishop. I was also calculating what happens in this position if I take with this pawn and he moves back and I now play something like g5. I didn't like this because I thought that now there would be moves such as d5 at some point, activating this bishop, or c5, and I didn't like this. So I spent a lot of time here in general calculating, and I definitely think that I should have played something that was not g5. I think g5 was a bit crazy. But I actually thought this was a good move, and my opponent after the game thought it was a good move too, because I thought that this would almost force him to play g3, which I thought would be beneficial for me because I thought takes, g takes f4, king h8, and I thought this would be really good for me. But what I didn't realize was the fact that actually after he takes the e pawn, even though I get a passed pawn that's protected, this is going to be a great path for the knight, and the knight is now going to get a very good square. So this whole idea of g5 was just a big mistake. By leaving the position the way it is, this knight cannot go anywhere, and white's pieces are a lot more tied back. So this was just a misunderstanding of the position, and I actually think, like, coming into this game, I kind of wanted to play a little bit more crazily, because my mom had the day before, she had told me, Anna, you're a little bit materialistic. You should not care about your material so much. You should try to improve your piece, like the position of your pieces. So I was coming into this game kind of thinking about this. So I wasn't really scared of giving up material in this game. And you're going to see very soon, you know, why or how I dealt with that or what I did. But I think that was kind of the wrong approach to have in general during this game. And yeah, I played this move g5, which looks a bit crazy, but I really thought I was kind of destroying my opponent's pawn structure, and taking here would be really bad due to going queen takes g5 and this pawn just being weak forever. You cannot really defend this pawn now. So he played g3 and he didn't really spend a lot of time on it, and now I was really getting my time very down. He played e takes f4, and I started thinking here way too much. It was almost like I felt that my position was kind of crumbling apart. And I was just really upset about it because I was so scared of losing. And I also think my, I don't know, just psychologically, I was doubting my moves. I was not feeling so great. I was thinking a lot. And something happened that made me feel a lot worse now than what I did, you know, several moves before, where I had played very confidently and where I had a really good position. So after a long time, I ended up playing knight f6, which I think was a necessary move to avoid any queen g4 checks in the future, but I spent 15 minutes on this move, which was just not something I can do. He played knight g2, and here I pretty quickly took on c4. The idea of this move was not that after bishop takes c4, I was going to sacrifice the exchange and go bishop a6. The idea here was that I thought somehow that I had a lot of compensation here if I just decided to sacrifice the exchange. I thought that this bishop right here was a monster, and I thought that this bishop would forever dominate this diagonal and that it would be a great positional sacrifice to give up the rook. And obviously the engine doesn't like this. The engine thinks that this is a mistake, but during the game, I truly believed that this was a beautiful idea, and I truly believed that this bishop on b7 would be a really strong piece. So I was really just trusting myself here and playing a very forcing line and really believing in the fact that this bishop would just be a very good piece, because it cannot really be kicked away and there's no light squared bishop for my opponent, so this bishop will forever be controlling all the light squares. However, if my opponent gets a knight up to e3, I will never be able to activate this bishop anymore. And that was why in this position, I decided to play e6 and sacrifice the pawn, because I wanted this bishop to be playable. Now, when I was making these moves, my opponent was in shock. He didn't understand what I was doing whatsoever. And it makes sense because the engine doesn't either. But I've had so many people after this game say, Anna, why did you just throw the game? And I really want to make clear that I would never in my life throw a game. I play these moves because I believed in them during the game, and I was wrong, and sometimes we are wrong, but I truly believe that this was the right approach during that moment, and I was wrong. And, you know, I learned from that mistake. I learned from the mistake that if I'm going to sacrifice a piece, I really should fully on have a very clear idea. But sometimes in certain positions, there are ideas of sacrificing an exchange and just keeping as fantastic piece in compensation of that. And I thought that my bishop here was that. So, yeah. I just wanted to make that clear, but obviously my opponent, he was really shocked right now and he didn't understand what was going on. I obviously had seen that I could go bishop a6 here and that I could win back the exchange, but if I was going to do this, I would never have entered this line because my bishop is much better here than what it is, you know, but giving up itself here. So I would not do this if this whole idea of taking on c4 if I was going to play this. So I went e3, he was shocked, and here the idea was to play queen e8, with the idea of going queen g6 and then activating my queen onto this diagonal. I knew that if I was just able to get my queen to this diagonal, I was winning. So I just needed to get my queen over here somehow. So now he decided to play f5, and I was way too low on time. That was another problem here with this whole line. I was way too low. You cannot really play this if you have 5 minutes because it's such a crazy position that I need time to think. And my opponent had 42. So time management in this game was terrible. So here I decided to take, which was the right approach. But I just want to show a line. If he, for instance, would have played something like queen e2, or he would have waited a little bit. My idea here was to go queen g6. And let's say he would play something like, I don't know, rook c1 or something. My idea here was to go, obviously, then bishop takes f4. And then my other idea was to go knight h5 and then to try to take on f4. So his only real plan is to go f5. But anyways, after queen e8, he went f5 immediately. I took, and after knight takes, actually here, he gave me a chance to go queen e4. What is the idea of queen e4? The idea is that I'm threatening pretty much to checkmate. And the only way of stopping this is to go rook f3 or queen f3. Now, I calculated this, and I actually thought that after takes, and knight takes d6, I was looking at all of this, and knight e4, I actually thought that because I was a pawn down, I thought that I was going to be slightly worse, but this is what I should have played, as if he ever tries to get with his rook active, I always have rook f7, and this different colored endgame, different colored bishop endgame should be a draw. So at this point, I really should just have gone for, you know, trying to get a draw with queen e4, which I saw, but somehow I was playing for the win with 5 minutes on the clock, which I don't know why. I really am really upset that I tried to do that. And I went for this crazy move, bishop takes g3. And this is really bad, but I really thought that after h takes g3, queen e4, I just completely missed the fact that in this position, he has, after knight h6, king h8, that he has this move d5. I just missed that he has d5 somehow.
So queen e4, Anna, please play queen e4. I would be surprised if you don't play that, because this is your chance to be in the game. So yes, please go queen e4, queen e4. No, she took on g3. Anna took on g3. Oh, I'm so sorry. She took on g3. This is just... Oh, she took on g3. I'm just so sad she played this move.
I don't know how I missed it. I don't know what was going on with my brain, but I just missed that he had this move d5. He decided to play it immediately. And at this point, now if I trade queens, I'm 2 pawns down, which is way too much. And a few moves later here, I resigned. So the whole game kind of started collapsing the moment that I decided to go for this sacrifice. It was this rook sacrifice that just completely blundered the game. And I was obviously really upset after the game, because I felt like, in a way, I was proud of the fact that I had believed in myself, and that when I had an idea, that I didn't let fear of it being wrong stop me from it. But obviously I was upset that my idea was wrong. And I really thought that I had compensation, but I realized that I need to maybe not go for these very crazy tactical lines sometimes, and sometimes I need to just play a little bit slower. Now, I had a lot of people after this that were telling me, Anna, you're sacrificing pieces for your YouTube videos. And I just thought that was the most insane thing that I've ever read, because I am an extremely competitive chess player, and I would never play chess that I don't believe in for a video, because I know that obviously if I'm just thinking about what's best for everyone, it's me to win every game. So I think that for me, the most important thing when I'm playing these chess tournaments is that I need to just not think about the fact that I'm recording or anything. I am just completely focusing on my game. And in this game, I did not sacrifice for my YouTube video. I sacrificed because I believed in the sacrifice and I thought it was a good sacrifice. But unfortunately, that was wrong. And I think ultimately what happened in this tournament was that I was a bit rusty. I was way too tired, and I was just not playing fast enough. And that came a lot from the previous things. So because I have a tournament in 1 week, another tournament, I'm going to be studying this week, the whole week. I'm going to be studying chess. I've already started. I'm going to be studying chess. I'm going to be studying time management. And I'm really just going to try to up my confidence so that I play faster in my next tournament. And I'm not going to let one bad tournament, this tournament in Reykjavik ended up chess-wise being quite bad. I lost 35 points of rating. I performed way under my rating, and it was probably my worst tournament since I started streaming. So it was probably my worst tournament in the past 5 years. But I'm not going to let one bad tournament stop me, because everyone has bad tournaments, and I'm going to have a million bad tournaments. But as long as I have 1,000,001 good tournaments, I'm happy. I just need to keep on playing good chess, give it my very best, and not let one bad tournament stop me or disencourage me from playing more chess. Because it's very easy after having one bad tournament and, you know, after having so many people saying that I'm playing really bad, to get discouraged and to try to, be scared of playing more. But that is not what's going to happen. I'm going to be keeping on playing tournaments. I'm going to keep on studying, and I'm going to keep on trying to give it my best. And that is everything that matters. And I feel very encouraged and motivated for that. So I appreciate all of you that are being very supportive. I appreciate all of you that have been following my journey, because there's going to be more. And this is just motivating me to get even better and to study even more for my next tournament. So I hope that even though I lost some games in Reykjavik, that you've enjoyed watching all these videos. I hope that they've been instructional for you. And let's all become better at chess so that we can beat everyone. Thank you so much once again for following me on this journey. I truly am so grateful to all of you. And there's going to be a lot more competitive chess coming from me, because I really want to get 2,200 this year. So this is just going to be a lesson for me in the future. Thank you so much for following this journey. Thank you so much for following all my recaps and all my live streams. And I will see you all in my next video. Keep on playing chess and keep on studying chess. Let's become the strongest chess community in the world. All right. Bye. Way. Hello, everyone. There's free food. Wait. I love macaroons.
May the Reykjavik Open continue to unite us. May your moves be bold and victories be peaceful. Thank you very much.